Hello, everyone. It's time for a book call. All right, so I am Michelle, otherwise known as Bookless Smitty, and today I will be hauling some books that I recently just purchased at Barnes& and Noble's book haul sale. They had a 50% book haul, and I went crazy and bought 20 plus books. I bought middle grade, young adults, and adults books. So I'm super excited to share with you all the books that I got at this sale. Okay, so we're gonna get started with middle grades. I have 7 books that are middle grades that fits within the middle grade category, age range, and the first one is Clean Getaway by Nick Stone. So I was attracted to the cover first. I never heard of the book. And this story is about, it's just an unplanned road trip with grandma. He has an unplanned road trip with grandma. And I want my students to be exposed to adventurous type of stories. And I love that they can see themselves on the cover, even though it's a fictional book. But also the author is African American. So this was a win for me. The next one is Malamander by who's this by Thomas Taylor. So this story is about a bunch of odd creatures that are connected together in an adventure. So another adventurous book, and the odd creatures are a plucky orphan, a sinister man, a mechanical mermonkey, an egg, and an elusive malamander. They together go on some type of adventure. The next book is The Copycat. Now this book was not in the 50% off sale rack, but I still was drawn to the cover and then the story, which in the back it said Allie is a copycat, literally. And I have a lot of students that tend to copy other students, so I thought this would be a good read for my students to learn how to be themselves. This is what this book is about. It teaches about friendship while this girl Allie goes off on a mysterious adventure, magical mysterious adventure. And the last book is on this frame is The Candy Maker. This book reminded me of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, which was a favorite of mine when I was a kid. And in this book, 4 kids are embarking on a national candy making competition of a lifetime. So it's a thick book. This Candy Maker is like almost 500, well, it's 460 pages of book, but it's an exciting adventure about a national candy making competition. So hopefully, my students would want to read this book. So let's take a look at some more middle grade books. So now I was drawn to this. Let me see if I can make this bigger. My little post-it note, move that over. So Barnes & Noble's had this little stand where it said our monthly young reader pick. Deep within the mountains, a great creature stirred in his sleep. Its eyes rolled back in his head and its wings jerked wide open. Dragon Mountain. So I was super excited to find some books on this table. Now, so I found 3 books about dragons, particularly for the boys in my class. Now, it's not that the girls in my class can't read books about dragons, but I find that girls don't have a difficult time finding books. They can go to the library and search for books forever. Boys, they will automatically, at least the boys that I've worked with, look, I've been teaching forever, and boys usually will gravitate towards graphic novels, and there's nothing wrong with graphic novels, but thinking about a national state exam that they have to pass, they're not exposed to graphic novel passages on an exam. They're exposed to fiction and nonfiction and poetry, and so they have to get exposed to different types of writing. And so when I saw this whole table with dragons, I was like, this might be a great idea. Let me get some books on dragons for my students. So I got the Curse of the Night Witch and Curse of the Night Witch, Land of the Raw, and I got Dragon Mountain. So yeah, so hopefully they could, hopefully any of my students, boys or girls, can read the book and be excited about reading and writing. Let's take a look at some middle grade slash young adult books. So all that means is that anybody who's interested in middle grade or young adults can read any one of these books. They can fit any one of the age groups, as well as adults can read them too. So we're not limited to that. So the first one I found was Wings of Fire, Dragon Slayer. So this is my other dragon book that I found that was on the collection with the other dragon books. Dragon Slayer happens to be about one of the girls in this picture and a baby dragon that were both discarded from their family, and they sort of team up together to take care of each other. The next one I found was the Storm Runner, which is another Rick Riordan Presents. So I've actually been trying to read all of his books, and for some reason I just never get to them. And then I didn't even realize he had a lot of books. So I really got to get on the ball to read all of Rick Riordan's books. And the last one on this slide is Black Brother. So I never heard of this book, but I found it when I was in the middle grade section. And what drew my attention was the cover and the title, Black Brother, and so I wanted to know more. And it says, two brothers, two colors, always on guard. The back says, as the only visible black kid at school, Dante doesn't fit in. Unlike his popular, lighter-skinned brother, Trey, Dante's teacher don't trust him and his classmates don't like him, dubbing him Black Brother. They make it clear they wish he were more like Trey. And so when I read the back of the cover, this piqued my interest because one thing I find in the black community is that within our own community, we're divided based on the color of our skin. So lighter black are treated better than the darker black people. I remember I had a friend who's much darker than I am, and she said she was teased as a child and called dirty because she was darker. So I felt like this was a good book to read with my students and have, interesting conversations because sometimes we do things without even realizing that we're doing things. If the texture of our hair is straighter or longer, then they're treated differently than someone whose hair is more kinkier than somebody else's. So this book I felt was a great conversation to have with my students. Two brothers, two colors, always on guard. Okay, so the last three books that are middle grade slash young adults are another Rick Riordan Presents. This one is The Trials of Apollo. This is book 5, The Tower of Nero. I don't even have book 1 through 4. And I still bought this because one, it was 50% off, and two, because I said I really have to get on the ball of reading Rick Riordan's books. Keeper of the Lost Cities. This is book 8.5 out of 9. I have 1 through 6. Never read any of them. I just have them. I've been trying to collect all of them. So I need to now collect 7, 8, and I believe 9. And then I would have the whole collection. Last book on my slide is the Wizarders series. And it is a book by the late Kobe Bryant and written by Wesley King called Training Camp. So this happens to be a series. I've never heard of this series before, but I was attracted to the cover of the book, and then when I picked it up, you can actually feel the feel of a basketball. Like you really feel the ridges of the basketball. So I love that book. This book is really made well. In addition, I love the dedicated book ribbon here. So, I think every author needs to invest in this book, having a book ribbon. Because if you're somebody like me who's always using bookmarks, it's better to have the book ribbon here. So let me just tell you what this book is about. So this book is about a mysterious coach, 5 perspectives, and 1 team. So magic doesn't seem possible for the West Bottom Badgers. They're the lowest ranked basketball team in the league, and they live in the poorest neighborhood in Dren. Nobody expects them to succeed, but when a new coach named Wallaby Wizard arrives on the first day of training camp, every player experiences strange, unique visions that challenge what they know about basketball and their secret struggles off the court. To survive a camp unlike anything they've ever seen, the Badgers need to take unimaginable risks, learn to trust their teammates, and confront their inner fears. So, this is on this court is fear versus magic, and I love that it's from the mind of basketball legend Kobe Bryant comes this portrait of one magical coach told from each player's perspectives, whose unusual approach reveals how greatness lies within. You know what? And that's a great message that I want to teach my students, that greatness lies within. It's not what people see. It's not even, it really is not. You got to understand what you can do, and you have to believe it for yourself. So I'm excited for this book, and I will be purchasing the other books for this series. I mean, because like I said, this is a really quality. I mean, I kind of don't even want to touch the book because it's made very well. But you know what? I will read the book now that I know about the book series. All right, here we are up to young adult. I have 6 great books that I want to share with you. One of the reasons why I love reading young adult books is because they have a lot of books that are set in school. So they have dark academia, light art academia. I love all things academia. This first book is The Castle School for Troubled Girls by Alyssa Scheinmel. And in this book, the blurb says, when Maura Dreyfus' parents announced that they're sending her to an all-girls boarding school deep in the Maine woods, Maura isn't fooled. She knows her parents are punishing her. She's been in too much trouble since her best friend Nathan died, and for a while before that, at the castle school, isolated from the rest of the world, Maura will be expected to pour her heart out to the odd headmaster, Dr. Prince. But she isn't interested in getting over Nathan's death or befriending her fellow students. So on her first night there, Maura hears distant music. On her second, she discovers the lock on her window is broken. On her third, she and her roommate venture outside and learn that they're not isolated after all. There's another very different castle school nearby, this one filled with boys whose parents have sent them away too. I am so excited for this book. Yeah, I love all books academia. So that one's for me, not for my students. Jason's Reynolds book, Long Way Down. I've seen this book in the store many, many, many times. I finally broke down, possibly because it was 50% off, and bought this book. It is a graphic novel, and I'm trying to get into the graphic novel genre, if that's a thing, because I'm really trying to understand the type of books that my students read, and they love reading graphic novels. The next and last book is Game Changer by Neil Shusterman, and this book is about a boy named Ash who gets tackled while he's playing high school football on a head. He gets a very serious head injury, and then he's faced with a whole bunch of changes. He has to sort of figure out his life with this head injury. So excited to read this book about football. Okay, the next book is Better Together. I've also been seeing this book lately in the stores, and finally broke down because it's 50% off and brought this book. But I'm still excited to read about it. It's about 2 sisters that grew up in different homes and they meet in weird circumstances. They're saying it's like a Freaky Friday meets The Parent Trap, if you remember those 2 movies where the two protagonists, they switch bodies. So that's what they're saying this book is similar to. So, I mean, I like both Freaky Friday and Parent Trap, so we'll see how this book reads. And of course, I saw Becoming. I am so ashamed I haven't read it yet, but I was super excited to see that the young adult version was here. So, what I'll probably do is I'll take some passages and read them to my students. I'm not going to read the whole book to them, but I'm going to read some important elements to them, do something with it as I read the whole entire book for myself. So I'm super excited I finally bought this. Right now I'm currently reading her husband's book, Promised Land. The last and final young adult book I have is The Firekeeper's Daughter, and this is about a girl who puts her college career on hold to help her ailing mother. So it says, keep the secret, live the lie, earn your truth. So here's another book that I've seen on the bookstore bookshelf, and I never bought it. You know what? 50% can get you to get a lot of books that you normally wouldn't have gotten. Is that worth gotten? Well, it is today. So, uh, okay. Okay, so finally we up to the adult books. Now, I have to admit I don't read a lot of adult books, but you know what? These four books that I picked out might inspire me to delve more into the adult book section of the library slash bookstore. So the first book is Brandon Sanderson's Hefty Rhythm of War, book four of the Stormlight Archive. And when you see Brandon Sanderson's book that is this thick and cost like $35 originally with a 50% off book tag, you're going to grab it. Even though the fact that I have not purchased one, two, or three, I still was like, yeah, I'm taking this book. So, and this book clocks in at 1,218 pages. So the next book is Jennifer Weiner, That Summer, and this book they are calling the beach read to end all beach reads, which I often wondered what a beach read book looked like, and so this is what a beach read book looked like. Just looks like people on the beach. That's it. The next book is A Cup of Silver Linings, which happens to be part two in the Dove Pond series. So I've never seen this book before, but I'm excited to read this book. And my last and final book is The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman, which is about a bunch of unlikely friends who meet together weekly and discuss and solve unsolved crimes together. So they call themselves the Thursday Murder Club. And when I saw this book, it automatically reminded me of Aurora Tea Garden on Hallmark, which there's a series where there's a group of people that meet together. And Aurora Tea Garden, she hosts this club, and it's on Hallmark. So this when I saw this is what this book reminded me of. Well, that's it, everyone. Thank you for watching my book haul. Hope you found a book that was interesting to you. Let me know in the comments. Also, if you like what you see, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and come on back. I love you for watching. Have a blessed day.